Hello, everyone. It's your best pal here, Brandon Brenner. Now, I'm going to be talking about Sodor Story Season 6. So, I did email Victor Tanzik recently about what might happen in Season 6. Right now he's got 4 episodes done. And he does have plans for Thomas to come back. So, for Season 6, he's planning on making through the years 1965 to 1968. 10 episodes planned. And I'm just hoping to spin a little theories. So I'm thinking that in that leaked Patreon video for Season 6, Episode 1, that Patrick, Bear, and Stepney come to Sodor, like in that recovery video. Yeah. I also have an idea for Victor Tanzik to introduce Coldy Fellwaker, in case you're wondering. And it's possible that Old Bailey became Coldy the engine for the Coldy Fell Railway for 1966. But this is just me speculating. Anyway. This is just me. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna give you an update on what's going on. Okay, just let me... plants. Let me get that yellow. Time. Bowman. Okay. Let me get... Here you go. There you go. Good thumbnail. That's better. Now, anyway, yeah, so basically 1965 to 1968. And in 1967, they might bring in the Arsdale Railway, called Miniature. So I think Miniature might go something like this. It was 1967 on Sodor, and many people were still visiting the island. However, there was a problem. The Boxford ballast mines was running out of ballast, so people were looking to find ways to find more ballast for the NWR and other railways. So, Duke suggests one of the MSR engines, formerly of the MSR, suggests looking near the Mid-Sodor Railway sites for ballast. Then many locomotives come to the Arsdale Railway, going all the way from Arlesburg to Kingery's Bridge, following the route. And they create a slate museum for when the MSR delivered slate. And I just hope someday, and then in the future, they create a coal mine for... What happens? Hold on. Yeah, so basically what happens is that the Boxford Ballast Mines is running out of ballast. And I think they might create a new engine to help with those, miniature line. Then, I think also in 1966, Sir John Mad retires, and maybe an older Rachel Zor takes over as controller, or Charles had. No, it's up to Tanzik himself. And there was this thing called YouTube chats where you could message people on YouTube. It's long gone now. Hopefully they bring that back. And I've been recently watching Sodor Retold. It's pretty weird, but I like it. Yeah, so 1965, honestly, it was a bit rushed. It didn't have many episodes, it just focused on death, explaining it was a grim year. And for season 7, I think it could take place from 1969 to 1974. Yeah, and so what happens is that there is a big freeze in 1971 in a video I watched by Tudor Branco. I hope I pronounced your name right. Anyway, so basically what happens is a freeze. The 1943 Arthur gets into a crash and remembers he is the 1923 Arthur and realizes about his own past. And that way, more people can come to Sodor. In 1973, the oil crisis begins. And it brings in a forgotten locomotive. Thomas the Tank Engine, who Francis was taken back from Wales without letting anyone notice because he would feel guilty. Then, also in 1969, the Sodor Steamworks and Vicarstown Diesel Works are opened to accommodate two different locomotives, steam and diesel. So I'm doing just one because it would have stressfulness on them. So, two diesels come in for the diesel works. Then in Dart, Victor would and his new crane buddy Kevin would work at the Sodor Steamworks at Croven's Gate, and Robert Hall would probably change his name back to Robert Creedy. In case you're wondering, he is Michael Creedy's son and the brother of Sean Creedy, who was disowned by his brother. In case you're wondering. And yeah, so basically what happens is Thomas comes back on a flatbed covered, and the new controller, whoever runs the NWR, realizes there's a flap out of the steamworks, all the engines. Rush over to see Anglia Quite Francis is back. And then during the montage, they hear whistling, and then the cover reveals Thomas now having a very bad scar on his left face side, very bad scarring from the burns. Taken into Steamworks to get repaired, and then Rosie comes along to meet him and talk to him. Then they might start a relationship, then get married. Anyway, so there is more stuff on this, so I thought I'd let you know. I do have some more ideas. Then the crisis. So during the crisis, I do have an idea for Victor Tanzik called conversion. So during the oil crisis, Francis asks to undergo an experiment called diesel steam conversion, or DSC, meaning he would now have a boiler that will burn on coal and water. Then he would work harder than ever before then he was a diesel, taking more trains. Then all this would happen when he started to burst the safety valve, jammed reversing gear, and his water injector failed. Then Henry arrives to collect him. Steamworks. The person in charge of Steamworks would apologize to Francis for not giving him a proper therapy session, and Derek says, "Why do you need to work?" And then Francis explains about his past deeds, and how he felt bad for Peter after giving Luther von Haas his location on where he was, and then all of a sudden Derek tells them they have a lot of work to do to help Francis get over his guilt. Then Thomas comes back on the Farquhar branch, slowly resettles into work in life. Then, yeah, and at the end of the season 7 post-credit scene, Caldy is puffing alongside to Kirk Machanfish. Then he sees Edward then he asks, "I'm sorry, Edward. We don't have any trains for tonight." Then Edward says, "Good thing I don't have any stuff to deliver." Then Coley says, "I beg your pardon?" Then Edward says, "Coley Fellwaker." Then the whole thing, like, back in 1964, Return happens. And then Crowin was a K4, would return as a K4 numbered 87546. And Holwyn would become a tank engine who was murdered for SCP Sodor Season 2. But this ending part would take place in 2075. And then Coley says, "If you think I'm going with you, Edward, you're mistaken." Then Edward says, "Don't make this on, it has to be Caldy. Or would you prefer Old Bailey?" "It's been 111 years since I went by that name. Who are you?" Then miniseries, season 2 of SCPs of Sodor would begin. And yeah, it goes on from there. Then Godwin McKelway will return as an engine, but you can call me Jonathan Starr, former director of LNR Sodor operations. Everyone was shocked to realize that Godwin never died. And for the 1964 Godwin's Day, it would happen with Jonathan Starr running from the SCP Foundation, trying to get to Kirk Machan and try to take over. But all of a sudden, Old Bailey shows up. Then there's a brawl between the two. Then all of a sudden, Coley realizes his past, how he failed as a king, and decides to sacrifice himself along with Jonathan Starr to become a locomotive. All you know, Coldy, while Jonathan Starr becomes Godred, those two mountain engines. Yeah. And that's about it. And on to my future plans. So I plan on doing some more voice acting in the future. I also plan on going to England next year for Audrey Extravaganza and visit the Heritage Railways. And there is a new movie coming out called Thomas and the Return to the Magic Railroad. Hold on. Let me get up. iOS Studios. Wait for it. Here we go. Let me just get to the Battle Alumni. There's some explaining to do. Here we go. Yeah, there's an argument going on. Wait for it. And happy 24th anniversary to Tatmore. Next year will be the 25th anniversary. Waiting for it. What the? Two characters from Thomas and Return to Magic Railroad: Burnett Stone Jr. and Shelley Redfeather. Hey! They just didn't see people like that before. Thomas and the Return to the Magic Railroad, now in production. Yeah, so I will definitely see this. Anyway, Victor Tanzik, if you are watching this, you are the bomb, and so are you, iOS Studios. I wish you luck with your filming. And I finally hit the 15-minute mile marker, and hopefully this will be the best video ever. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have anything else you want to add in the comments, please let me know. Thank you. Have a good day. Au revoir.